Right, let's talk about Airbus. You see them at every airport, those enormous metal birds with the rather pleasant blue logo on the tail. But what is it really? Well, in simple terms, Airbus is a massive company that builds aeroplanes. Not just any old aeroplanes, mind you, but some of the most advanced and widely used aircraft in the world. It's a European success story, a bit like a well-made copper or a properly engineered German car. They design, build and sell these magnificent flying machines to airlines all over the globe. Which means if you've ever been on holiday, you've probably flown on one. It's a truly global operation, connecting people and places in a way that would have seemed like pure science fiction only a century ago. Now, the story of how Airbus came to be is quite interesting. Back in the 1960s, the world of aeroplane manufacturing was completely dominated by American companies. If an airline wanted a big, new, shiny jet, they usually had to buy it from the likes of Boeing or McDonnell Douglas. The European countries, with their long and proud histories of building aircraft, were falling a bit behind. They were brilliant at making smaller planes, but when it came to the big stuff, they were struggling to compete. It was a classic case of everyone doing their own thing, rather than working together on something grand. This fragmentation was holding them back, and something had to be done. So, a few clever ministers from France, Germany, and Britain got together. They had a brilliant, if slightly complicated idea. What if they pooled their resources? What if they combined their engineering genius, their manufacturing might, and their financial backing to create a single, powerful aircraft company? It was a bold plan. On the 29th of May, 1969, at the Paris Air Show, the French and German governments signed an agreement to get the ball rolling. They decided to build a new type of plane, a wide-body jet with two engines, which would eventually become the A300. It was the birth of Airbus, a consortium designed to take on the American giants. The initial setup was, to be honest, a bit of a logistical head-scratcher. Different parts of the plane were built in different countries. The wings were made in Britain, the fuselage sections in Germany, the nose and cockpit in France, and the tailplane in Spain. Then, all these massive bits had to be flown to a final assembly line in Toulouse, France. To do this, they used a fleet of bizarre-looking cargo planes called the Super Guppy. It was a magnificent example of European cooperation, a bit like assembling a giant Airfix model, but one that could actually fly across the Atlantic. It proved that working together, a rather good idea could become a world-beating reality. One of the things that really set Airbus apart was its obsession with new technology. They weren't just content with building planes, they wanted to build better, cleverer planes. One of their most groundbreaking ideas was the introduction of fly-by-wire technology in a passenger jet. Now, what does that mean? In older planes, the pilot's controls were physically connected to the flight surfaces with cables and pulleys, a bit like a giant puppet. Airbus, with its A320 model in the 1980s, replaced all that with electronic signals. The pilot moves a small joystick, which sends a command to a computer, and the computer then tells the wings and tail what to do. It was revolutionary. This fly-by-wire system was a proper game-changer. For a start, it made the aeroplanes much lighter because they didn't need all those heavy mechanical linkages. A lighter plane uses less fuel, which is good for the airline's wallet and, as it turns out, for the planet. It also made the planes safer. The computers have built-in safety features that prevent the pilot from making a maneuver that could put the aircraft in a dangerous situation. Some old-school pilots were a bit suspicious at first, thinking the computer was taking away their control. But it soon became the industry standard, a testament to Airbus's forward-thinking engineering. It's a bit like having a very sensible co-pilot who never gets tired. Airbus also pioneered the use of composite materials on a massive scale. Instead of just using traditional aluminium, they started building large parts of their aircraft like sections of the wings and fuselage, from things like carbon fiber reinforced plastic. These materials are incredibly strong, but also remarkably lightweight. The Airbus A350, for example, is made of more than 50% composites. This is another one of their clever tricks to reduce weight and improve fuel efficiency. It's the sort of thing you see in Formula One racing cars, but applied to a machine that weighs hundreds of tons and carries hundreds of people. It's brilliant, really. Another clever idea was the common cockpit. Airbus designed the controls and instruments in their different aeroplanes to be very similar. This means that a pilot who is qualified to fly an A320 can learn to fly a larger A330 or even the enormous A380 with much less training time. This saves airlines a huge amount of money and makes their pilot scheduling much more flexible. It's a simple, practical solution that shows Airbus is always thinking about its customers. It's about making things logical and efficient, not just technologically fancy. It's this combination of big, revolutionary ideas and sensible, practical touches that makes their design so successful. When you think of Airbus, you probably picture a classic passenger jet, and you'd be right. The A320 family is their bread and butter. These are the single-aisle jets you'll most likely fly on for short to medium-haul trips, like from London to Rome. They are incredibly popular, the workhorses of the sky, with thousands of them flying all around the world every single day. Then you have the bigger boys, the wide-body jets like the A330 and the A350. These are the ones with two aisles, designed for long-haul flights across oceans. They are packed with technology to make long journeys more comfortable, with better air quality and quieter cabins. But Airbus doesn't just make passenger planes. They also build some of the biggest and most capable cargo aircraft in the world. The Beluga XL, for instance, is one of the strangest-looking aeroplanes you will ever see. It's designed to look like a whale for a reason. Its enormous bulging fuselage is used to transport oversized cargo, like entire aircraft wings and fuselage sections between Airbus's factories. It's a flying van of epic proportions. They also build military transport aircraft, like the A400M Atlas, which is a rugged and versatile plane that can land on short, unprepared airstrips to deliver troops, vehicles, and humanitarian aid to difficult-to-reach places. And it's not just fixed-wing aircraft either. Airbus is also one of the world's largest helicopter manufacturers. They build a huge range of helicopters for all sorts of jobs. You'll find their helicopters being used as air ambulances, rushing to the scene of an accident to save lives. Police forces use them for surveillance and pursuit, and they are essential for search and rescue operations in mountains and at sea. They also build helicopters for corporate transport, offshore oil rig support, and military applications. So, while you might be looking up at an Airbus jet, another Airbus helicopter could be flying much closer to the ground, doing an equally important job. The variety is quite staggering when you stop to think about it. From the smallest helicopter to the largest passenger jet, each aircraft is a highly specialized piece of engineering designed for a specific purpose. There's the A380, the double-decker Super Jumbo, a true giant of the skies, designed for carrying the maximum number of people between major hub airports. Although production has stopped, it remains a symbol of engineering ambition. This diversity shows that Airbus isn't just a one-trick pony. It's a comprehensive aerospace company, providing solutions for almost any challenge that involves leaving the ground. It's a complete toolkit for the modern world of aviation. So, why is all of this important? Well, for one thing, Airbus is a massive employer. It provides hundreds of thousands of high-skilled jobs, not just in its main factories in France, Germany, Spain, and the UK, but across a vast global supply chain. These are jobs for engineers, technicians, designers, and scientists, all working at the cutting edge of technology. This creates economic stability and drives innovation in countless communities. It's a powerhouse of industry that helps support the economies of many countries. It's a perfect example of how an ambitious industrial project can have a massive positive ripple effect across society, creating opportunities for generations of people. Airbus has also fundamentally changed the way we travel. By providing fierce competition, it has helped to make air travel more affordable and accessible to millions of people. The efficiency of their aircraft, particularly the A320neo and A350, means airlines can operate with lower fuel costs, and some of those savings are passed on to the passenger. This has fueled the growth of tourism, allowed businesses to connect globally, and enabled families and friends to stay in touch across vast distances. The world has become a much smaller place, and Airbus has played a colossal role in that. Your cheap holiday to the sun is, in part, thanks to this European venture. Furthermore, the company is a hub of technological advancement that benefits everyone, not just air travelers. The research that goes into making planes lighter, stronger, and more efficient has applications in many other industries, from car manufacturing to wind turbine construction. The advanced aerodynamics, composite materials, and sophisticated software developed for an Airbus jet often find their way into other products. It's a catalyst for progress, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in engineering and manufacturing. Airbus is currently investing heavily in research for a zero-emission, hydrogen-powered aircraft, which could one day revolutionize aviation and help tackle climate change. In the end, Airbus is more than just a company that makes aeroplanes. It is a symbol of what can be achieved through cooperation, ambition, and brilliant engineering. It started as a bold European dream to challenge the established order, and it succeeded beyond anyone's wildest expectations. It connects countries, powers economies, and pushes the boundaries of technology. Every time an Airbus takes off, it's a testament to a rather good idea that took flight and changed the world. It's a story of progress, written in the sky, and it's a story that is far from over. Good stuff.